Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2, Episode 5, Confinement. Really love this episode. It was, well, all the episodes are super gory, so I guess I can't really use that as a qualifier for why I like the episode. But I thought it was cool. The actual confined sort of location of everyone just kind of being in the prison, or the little police station the whole time. And I thought it was cool, especially the ending. Really, it really did get crazy, Evil Dead sort of crazy bloody. But I like the way it all played out. Everybody's freaking out and working against each other. We of course have Baal, who actually does end up coming out, and he seems like he will be the main villain for the rest of the season. They kind of make the point of saying like, "Hey, I'm here now," and the Necronomicon was the only way to get rid of me, and now that's been tossed into hell. So, with that being the case, they have to find some other way, to send him back to hell. So I would assume that he is going to be there for the rest of the season. Maybe not though, because he does seem so powerful. It would be kind of hard to see them going a little bit. It seems kind of hard for them to just have this character just keep going as a villain and they can't catch him, because considering he went after them, I would need a really good reason for him to kind of take off afterwards, because he came after them and tried to track them all down and take out Ash, of course. But what reason would he have to take off? They would have to find some way to temporarily stop him, which they probably will. It seems like it's somewhat possible to kind of beat him up, but it's very hard to tell. I mean, he's a crazy demon. He's almost like a siren, where he like gets into people's heads. He just speaks to them and he instantly controls them. And then he loves to wear people's skin. Like that first kill was really crazy, and he just cuts the woman, straight down her spine basically, and just takes all of her skin off, and then the body just drops on the ground. And then we have the same body kind of come back to life at the end of the episode, and it's attacking them inside of the police station. So it was very interesting, visually how they did some of the stuff in this episode. But I like Baal as a villain. I thought it was pretty cool. He manipulates the characters. We have him, like the first cop shooting, the way that he killed her, the way that he somewhat manipulated Ruby, and, kind of tried to trick her, but fortunately, she was able to, like the stretchy skin on the neck and stuff, and that kind of snapped her out of it. So, excuse me. He did exactly what he was trying to do. He turned everybody against each other. We have him. I would assume that was him controlling the cop when he was like saying like, you can't just shoot this guy, when his wife is telling him you can't just shoot Pablo. And then he hears his voice is like, yes, you can. So I would assume that was Baal controlling him, or that's some other crazy thing happening, which could be related to Pablo, since he was, next. He was actually the one next to all those people, and Baal was technically in the basement the whole time. So that could have had something to do with Pablo and what appears to be him basically being the human manifestation of the book. That seems what the promo was talking about for the next episode. So that has me really excited, because I was glad that, and it was obvious, in the first episode that they were going to continue on with that storyline. But now he's, he thinks that he's Baal, going through the whole episode. He's got all these, these like boils, and like it looks like he just got stabbed through with a giant sword or something. So he's going through this crazy thing. He's vomiting and stuff like that, or at least coughing up goo is what it kind of looked like. So we have a crazy episode coming up this week. So I'm very excited for that, and seeing how they end up saving him from basically being the human version of the Necronomicon. So I'm excited to see how all that stuff plays out, and maybe he'll end up being the way that they actually, and Ruby even says it, he's the way that they can stop Baal. So they have to find some way to balance it out and like save Pablo, so that he has the power of the Necronomicon in some regard at least, but he isn't controlled by it. And then they have to use that power and have him, manifested himself, so that they can stop Baal. So there's a lot of elements there, and I'm very excited to see how they, take care of that in the next episode. But this one was really good. They go through kind of a bunch of different emotions with all the, the side characters, where they're like, the cop's daughter's like, they're not the bad guys, they're actually the good guys. And then he's like, oh really, because he killed, your friend. It's like, is that true? And it's like, well, it's really complicated. So there's a lot going on there, where they, a lot of people go back and forth. His buddy Chet is like, I was hanging out with you, but I got to get the heck out of here. None of that works out. The prostitute that he's with, just gets destroyed. It's like the only person that died is that whole little sequence. I was like, oh well, she got completely destroyed, and then the wife, I can't, I want to say her name is Linda for some reason. That might be her name, but I could easily be wrong. She gets kidnapped, and I was really surprised that she was taken to the jail cell, and that's all there was to it. I was like, oh, that was really simple. I thought, of course, that would be Baal, but that would have meant that she would have to have been killed. So I was like, that kind of makes sense that it wouldn't actually be Baal, because then they would have killed off, a character that clearly there, there's a lot more there between her and Ash. So I like the way they did that, and he has to fight against basically just just meat, just no skin, just a human form with meat, just muscle and stuff. And that, like I said, that's when we get our crazy super gore moment, and he just splits down the entire body, and that's just the way he does it. So they do that. Apparently the cop and his wife, they aren't together anymore because he snapped, which I thought was kind of weird that she wouldn't be able to recognize that he. I mean, a lot of that was him on his own just because he hated Ash, but him like losing his mind on her was a part of the whole demonic thing. So I guess with it being a bunch of it just being him, it did kind of seem like he was just losing his mind. So I guess it kind of made sense that she just kind of broke up with him. And then Ash comes in, like, finally, I think after like the fourth guess, he gets it right. Like, this is the car that your mom had, and this is the car we made out in. So they're gonna go somewhere with that, but of course it won't. It won't be permanent because they're gonna have to take off and go somewhere else to deal with Deadites. For season 3. But I like this episode for sure. As usual, like I said, I kind of can't count it anymore because it's just the series itself. But I did like the craziness of the gore, and how them splitting the body in half, having like basically walking like an act, just meat, just a whole body but no skin. It's kind of interesting to see, and it was very well designed. I was like, man, that's actually I thought it was just really well done. I was like, there's actually some great practical effects with that, so I thought that was actually really cool. But super excited for this next episode. It seems like it's going to focus all on Pablo and his connection now to the Necronomicon. So I'm excited to see where they take it, and this might give him, I don't know, I mean, in one way I think it's going to be like he'll have at least some of the powers of the Necronomicon, but then at the same time, that would make him way too powerful, because they'd be fighting Deadites, and he could just be like, don't do that, and he could mind control the Deadites, or do something, or just open up a portal, poof, send them right back to hell. It's no big deal sort of thing. So it's hard to tell exactly how it's going to play out, but I'm certainly excited for it, like I said. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and of course I want to know what you guys think is going to happen with Pablo and his battle with Baal and the whole team really taking down Baal as well as saving Pablo. Like, how is all that going to play out? Is he going to get powers permanently? Is he going to get powers for the next episode and then maybe the next 2? Because I don't know. I mean, depending on how they do it, Baal could just kind of disappear a little bit, and they kind of focus on Pablo, and he realizes, like, crap, I can't kill this kid because it'll destroy me or whatever, so I have to fight him later, something like that. So I want to know if you guys think it'll play out that way, where it's only on Baal, or only on Pablo and the team, and Baal just kind of up and vanishes because he knows what's coming, or is it still going to have both characters? Because I think they're going to, for at least my prediction, is that Baal might, most likely he'll show up because he's kind of the big villain right now, but I think what they're going to do is really focus on Pablo, and then maybe the episode after next, if they do it, if Baal isn't the main villain for the rest of the season, then I think he'll die in the episode after the next one. I think they'll have it where it's like, alright, we saved Pablo's life, now he has the ability to take out Baal, and they'll do that in the next episode, or they'll just have to find him, because Baal, like I said, he could easily just take off, and it's like, okay, well, I'll just go kill a bunch of other random people, or, whatever. It doesn't seem like he can control other Deadites or do anything like that. He's just himself a very powerful demon who can, mind control people. So, I mean, I guess demon-wise, I guess his goal is just kill a bunch of people. He might have an end game. There might not be one, but like I said, I want to know your predictions about it, and of course, I want to know what you thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.